Stocks of interest. Every week I find stocks that catch my attention, and the highlight this week is Moderna. Have you seen the news? Is this a viable trade? Can you make money on this stock? I will discuss this stock amongst others that are on my list of interest. Folks, did you see what happened with Moderna? Did you see the news that happened with Moderna? Was your eyes like this when you looked at the news? That's called Pikachu face, right, Joey? Pikachu face. Anyway, Moderna moved, was up 10%. This was on August 11th on a 1.5 billion vaccine supply deal with the U.S. So this is the second stock. This is the second stock that the government backed up. What was the other one? Kodak. What happened with Kodak? It got smoked like a pound of tobacco. Bacon. Like it got smoked like a pound of bacon. All right. I like bacon, but man, that was an interesting play with Kodak. Good. Googly moon. And then we turned around and it happened with Moderna. Now, this is a stock that I've been talking about for a while. I personally like the play on Moderna. I've liked the play on Moderna, but the government backed it up. It jumped up 10% after hours following the news that it has a supply agreement with the U.S. government for an initial 100 million doses. That's a lot of doses. That's like supercalidocious. Lispiastialidocious. Is that how I say it? No, how you know?
Because I know what it is.
I know what it is too. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
There you go.
That's what I said is there. But that's...
You read all the F part.
I left out the F part. I didn't cuss. What put? The supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, shut up and leave me alone. This is what I'm going to do for you. Don't be talking about my words. Those are my words. I'm trying to teach these people some stuff. So Moderna, big move after hours on that 100. That's a lot of doses. So now, somebody in my office, one of our developers, saw that I put that on social media. By the way, if you want to follow me on social media, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, look for Glenn Tompkins Jr. It's GLENNTO, no H, TOMPKINS Jr., JR. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and I put up a lot of these little stories throughout the week prior to Trending Thursday. So I talk about what's going on in the market and all that kind of stuff. But let me say something else. If you like the content that you see here on YouTube, please follow the channel. Follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, like it. How many likes do we have so far, Joey?
0.
We got 0. We didn't get any likes today?
40.
We got 40 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 150 likes today. Pushing the number 150 likes. If you like what you hear today, like us. And don't forget when Joey puts these videos up to please comment on the videos. And also, this is also a podcast. If you go to any of your places where you can get a podcast, search for Trending Thursday. Anywhere you can get a podcast, whether it's on Apple or Google, anywhere you can get a podcast, search for Trending Thursdays. All right. So there's another side to this story. How about this? Moderna says uncertain, and this happened on the same day, uncertain about coronavirus vaccine patent exclusivity. Whoo. So if the government signed, this makes you do like this. It goes, that's right, because now if they don't have patent exclusivity, somebody else could jump on board with this, but the government already put it in order with Moderna, which drove the stock's price higher, but they said, well, I don't know if I got the exclusivity or not. I don't know how that affects the order that the government put in. So I wanted to give you the other side of the story. Why? Because I'm like Paul Harvey. I like to give you the rest of the story. So as good as it looks, I just wanted to let you know what else is behind it. Lyft, another stock of interest. Lyft revenues tumbled 61%. Why? You would think that people would be getting out, and at least they don't want to drive their cars. They would go to Lyft is not getting people. Nobody wants to go. Where do you go to? You go to dinner, you go to the bars. Nobody's doing that. Shares lift closed down slightly Wednesday following the company's sobering June quarter financial report, which was as bad as you might have expected in face of COVID-19. So Lyft got smoked. Lyft got delifted, got delofted. Talk about getting delofted. It was like a golf swing. Yep, got delofted. Lyft got delofted. Hey, we should make that go viral. Lyft got delofted. I don't know. All right. For the quarter, the ride-sharing company reported a revenue of $339 million, which is down 61% from a year ago. All right. And posted an adjusted loss of $265 million, or about $1.41 a share. Whew. The street consensus had been a loss of 99 cents a share, and they were down $1.41. The company said it had an adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization loss of $265 million. Whew. Anyway, that hurts. That hurts. While ride shares in the quarter were down significantly year over year, we're encouraged by the recovery trends we're beginning to see. So as the country starts to open up, Lyft is now giving forward guidance of they're hopeful. All right. So that's good. What else is in my stocks of interest? Remember we started talking about TikTok? Microsoft was going to buy TikTok. Apple stepped up and said, yeah, we want to buy TikTok. Now Facebook and Snap held talks to buy TikTok. You know, all of this is everybody's going to fight it out. Everybody's going to fight it out. And once we get it, somebody's going to take charge of TikTok and run with it. All right. Now, is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But the news out there is that China ain't liking it. They're like, you can't do this to our company. And the president saying, yes, we can. And then Microsoft said, we're going to buy it. And then Apple says, nah, we're going to buy it too. And now Facebook and Snap come in as the little brother and sister and go, no, we want to buy it. And everybody wants to get in, and TikTok is standing on the side going, oh no. And that's what's going on. That's the story in a nutshell. All right. Everybody wants to come in, and TikTok is going, I don't know. All right. So with that being said, my next story in my stocks of interest is Netflix. It rose Wednesdays, outperforms the market. Why? Because people that are home and they're binging stuff on Netflix. Are you binging? What are you binging on Netflix?
I'm not really watching a lot.
You're not watching a lot? Why?
Nothing new on there.
You know, it keeps popping up every week. It says, hey, what's new on Netflix? We've got to watch. Netflix is putting out a lot of content. I just don't think that all of it is catching the attention of the people out there, but it does outperform the market. When you look at Netflix, though, you look at their other streaming services that are out there. Amazon was up. Disney was down. Comcast was down. There's a lot of other stocks in this space. Apple's in this space as well. This is still, it looks like, though, from the perspective of Netflix is the bigger mover. Netflix is the bigger mover, but this is becoming more of a confined space with everybody dipping their toe in the water. I don't know how creative everyone out there can be to get viewers to come to their streaming platform. Think about that. There got to be a bunch of creative people putting out a lot of content. How good is the content? And as Joey is just sitting here saying, I'm not watching a lot of stuff out there. I'm curious to know whether it's Netflix, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Disney, whether it's Comcast, whether it's CBS. How many of you are finding good stuff to watch out there? There's a bevy of all of the streaming stuff out there. How many of you are actually feeling it that you're able to go see this stuff that you like? All right, so just think about that. Last but not least, 5G, just like I am hot on clean energy, 5G is another spot that I'm looking at. This is on Ciena to support nationwide. See that? Nationwide is on your side. All right, but that's a different Nationwide. Anyway, this is nationwide optical networked with Windstream. I've had Windstream. I don't like them. You ever had Windstream? Mm-hmm. Who do I have? I have Spectrum. Who do you have?
AT&T Uverse.
You like AT&T Uverse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have AT&T Uverse.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah, mine is pretty non-existent. Yeah, I pay for Spectrum, and I can't say that because then everybody's going to think I'm bad-mouthing Spectrum. I am a little bit because my service is horrible. But anyway, that's huge. From a 5G perspective, company is matching up with a phone or a wireless provider by way of phones and all that kind of stuff for nationwide optical network, which is going to be huge from a 5G perspective. So that's another 2 industries I want you guys to keep your eyes on, which is going to be clean energy and now 5G. Write it down, take a picture, write a book, don't care. Glenn is putting that out there. 2 industries to keep your eyes on is going to be clean energy and 5G. Let's go take a look at these stocks in the list. Facebook is in here, CIEN is in here, Netflix. And as far as the 5G, I put a couple of extra stocks in there. Ericsson, Nokia, there's Snap, MRNA, and LYFT. Those are all of my stocks of interest this week. Understanding that Ericsson and Nokia are part of the CIEN, other stocks that are in the 5G. Let's analyze them. Facebook, nicely undervalued. Trading at 260, value of 318. Ciena, which is my 5G stock, trading at 60, value of 87. Nicely undervalued. Netflix, even though, the stock is considered to be overvalued, trading at 482 with a value of 265. Perception is there. People are willing to spend a premium to own the stock. Ericsson in the 5G space, fairly valued, trading at 1187 with a value of 1130. Nokia trading at 504, value of 605. I'm going to call that fairly valued. Snap. Snap. Like that. Grossly overvalued as a social media stock, 2179 with a value of $1.91, way overvalued. Moderna, another overvalued stock in the pharmaceutical space, trading at 67 with a value of 835, and LYFT at a price of 29 and a value of 817, overvalued. Let's see out of my stocks of interest, which stocks have the highest upside potential. It looks like Ciena, the 5G company, has a relative value of 1.47. Netflix has a relative value of 1.46. And Facebook has a relative value of 1.43. This is the stock's long-term upside potential. Which ones are lacking? Snap, Moderna, and LYFT. So everybody's probably wondering, why do you like Moderna so much? Because it is in the coronavirus space. It's made the news a lot. Moderna right now, look at that. RT is below 1. Tell me the stock's in a downtrend. But I think with the news of the government willing to purchase 100 million pieces of the vaccine, that's going to drive the stock. As the coronavirus was hot and heavy, this stock made the news a lot. So this was my stock of choice during the coronavirus. Oh, it's not like the coronavirus is over, but even now, and the government is backing up. Be careful though, because Kodak was backed up by the government too. Which ones are the safest stocks in the list? Facebook, CIEN, and Netflix. Notice that the top 3 in the list happen to be Facebook, CIEN, and Netflix. 3 different industries. Well, yeah, 3 different industries. Good stocks to keep your eyes on. Relative timing, which ones are in an uptrend? All of them except for Moderna and LYFT. All right. And who's growing their earnings the most? Looks like Netflix. So let's take a look at all of these stocks on the graph. If I had to make a decision on the stocks of interest, which one I like the best? I like Facebook, but it's pulling back. Watch that. Let's go put on my graph layout for, there's the 3 and the 8. Let's take off the 20. Here's the 3 and the 8 along with RT. Whew. A little choppy on Facebook. Look at that RT pulling back as the stock's price is pulling back. Notice on the pullback days, the 3 and the 8 held. This is why I mean, no matter if I'm aggressive on the stock or not, I like the 3 and the 8. All right, let's go to the next one. Wow. This is probably my stock of choice out of all of them today. CIEN, that 5G stock, hitting a level of resistance. Would love to see it break above that level. But look at the pullback. The 3 and the 8 are still holding. 3 and the 8 are still holding. RT still above 1, even though it's pulling back. Netflix, even though it beat out on earnings and it's moving, just look at it. It's been tough. And I think a lot of it has got to deal with content. I know that it jumped up. It looked like it was getting ready to rock and roll. That was 2 days ago. It found a level of support sitting at 466. Let's see if the 3 and the 8 can cross back up before you think about getting into Netflix. If you haven't yet, I would wait for that. Let's see if the news can really push it up higher. Ericsson, 5G space, did a little bit of a sideways move. Even with the sideways move, look at the 3 and the 8. People always ask me, why do I like the 3 and the 8? Because it works. Because it really works. Even when the stock moves sideways, the 3 is still above the 8 as a 5G company. Little down today. I probably wouldn't touch it today. Wait for the stock to go back up. Nokia, also in that 5G space, moving up, pulling back. Look at the pullback and look how steady the 3 and the 8 were. They still keep you in the stock. The 3 and the 8 keeps you from pulling your hair out, keeps you from over panicking and pulling the trigger too early. All right, let's go to the next stock, Snap. Even with the news of Snap trying to look at TikTok, I don't know if they got the money behind them to really buy it. So Facebook and Snap made the news here because of their wanting to go after TikTok. I think if anybody's going after TikTok, it's going to be Apple. Apple's got the money. It's their deal to win or lose. Microsoft right behind them. I don't know if Facebook and Snap, if it's going to really help them. It could help them, but I think if you're going to go up, whoever's going to offer the most amount of money, I don't think it's going to be Facebook or Snap. I'm looking at Moderna. As much as I love this stock, it's been hard to sit through. I ain't going to lie. It's been hard to sit through, but I'm going to see. Here's the news when the news came out. Look at that. Look at that. It was a lot of bump up and came back down. I don't know if the news is enough to keep it going. All right. But I still think because this stock has made the news as much as it has, I'm still gonna stick to my guns. I wouldn't buy it right now, but I'm still gonna stick to my guns, possible as far as a vaccine. In Lyft, man, the dismal report just affected it to the downside. Notice that it does have a level of support. Oh, that's not what I wanted. A level of support sitting right about here at about $27.64. Let me make that a little darker for you to see. That's a good level of support for Lyft. If you're still in it, don't know why you would be, but if you're still in it, that's your saving grace. If it breaks below that level, that's your line in the sand. Yeah, I wouldn't be in it. RT has been below 1 since late June, early July. No reason to be in Lyft. No reason, but if you're in it, for whatever the reasons, I ain't judging you. Not yet anyway. There's your saving grace. All right.
He says the dark green candle is a sign of bearish or bullish?
The dark green candle, all right, it's green because the price still finished higher than the previous day. All right. That's why it's green. The closeness of the candle means the price started at the top of the candle and came down. That's why I call it a bearish bullish candle. It's bearish from the price movement of the day, but it's bullish because it's still higher than the prior day's close. All right. Any other questions on my stocks of interest?
Let's see. Somebody asked about Moderna. What was it? Why did Moderna not hold the upswing when the news broke?
Why did Moderna not hold the upswing when the news broke? Probably it was a lot of profit taking. If I go back to just Moderna, let's view the stock price. After the news hit, let me show you something. After the news hit, the price went from a close the day before of $68.97. The stock's price went as high the next day as $75. Yeah, a lot of people in a stock that was moving down saw that jump, took their profits, and that's what happened. Hopefully that makes sense. Look at the stock. If you're in the stock, it's going down, and you say, damn, what do I do? Can I say that? You're going to have to beep that out?
No.
Good. All right, so that happens, big jump up. I'm going to try to recoup some of my losses that occurred right here. All right, so I'm believing that was a lot of profit taking right there. Any other questions, Joey? Oh, Joey. Oh, Joey.
This guy asked you to briefly explain what the 3 and the 8 means. Is it a 3-month moving average versus 8 month?
All right, so the question is to explain the 3 and the 8. The 3 and the 8 represent a 3 and 8 period. Because I'm at end of day, this represents a 3 and 8 day moving average. If I am on a weekly graph over the last year, these now represent 3 and 8 weeks. It's all depending on my time period I'm looking at. If I'm on a weekly graph, it becomes 3 8 weeks. If I'm on an end of day graph, this becomes 3 and 8 day. But if I'm intraday throughout, let's go put on 1 minute bars current day. If I'm day trading this, these now become 3 and 8 minute bars. All right, so it all looks at whatever time period I'm in.